Welcome to Chad Hates Carbs. Today we're going to be doing a very simple butter pecan cookie, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take some butter. This is salted butter. It calls for unsalted, but I don't mind a little bit extra salt. If you're sensitive, you might go ahead and use the unsalted. I'm just going to slap that in the mixer there, and then you're going to mix in a half a cup of Swerve sweetener. I'm using the confectioner's style because it's less grainy in baked goods. And all we're going to do is we're just going to dump that in, and then we're going to let it cream together for some time. It's going to take it a while to get that done, so I'll be back in just a second once that's all mixed in together. So it says light and fluffy, and it still definitely has that kind of sticky texture. It's lighter than it was, i.e. it's not like a cold stick of butter, but it's still not, I mean, I wouldn't consider this like a whipped cream kind of texture. So I'm not sure if this is enough. It says beat for 2 minutes, and it's definitely been more than 2 minutes. And I was beating it on high, so it's still, like you can see, it still kind of sticks to that side of the bowl, and it's more of a like a paste. In other words, it's, like I said, it's not cold stick of butter, but it's definitely not super light and fluffy. So I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but we're going to go ahead and move forward. So the next step, it says I want to have almond flour, and we've got 1 3/4 cup of almond flour. So we're going to put that in. 1 3/4 cup of almond flour. We've got 2 tablespoons of coconut flour, which is that hyper absorbent flour that you got to be real careful with. And then we've got half a teaspoon of salt. I went a little bit lighter just because I do have salted butter, so I probably only put a 1/4 teaspoon in. And then we've got half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we're going to go ahead and mix that stuff in there. And you want to be careful when you're doing this because of the dry ingredients here, that you don't go too fast to start with, or it'll just kick everything everywhere. So we'll let this go for a minute, and we'll come back in a second. Okay, now that we've got that done, we're going to take these chopped pecans, we're going to stir them in. This is where it gets a little bit crazy because the chopped pecans are a major portion of this recipe. From a ratio standpoint, it's surprising just how many pecans there are in this recipe. So let's mix them in. Again, you want to go kind of slow. You don't want to kick it into high gear immediately, or you'll have all kinds of problems. So let's go ahead and get that started. Let those incorporate a bit. And then we'll kind of cut them in as well with our spatula once we get them out onto our tray. Alright, that looks good for now, so let's go take them to the tray. I just realized the best thing about this recipe is that there's no eggs in it. So you can, lick the beaters and see how they're going to taste. I gotta say, pretty good. Anyway, let's go ahead and get these going. The idea here is to get 1-inch balls, and then at that point you want to kind of flatten them out a bit. So let's go ahead and kind of mash that stuff together a bit, kind of scoop it. So it says 1-inch balls, so let's just, I don't know, about yay big. That looks kind of okay. So the issue that we have to do now is it says flatten slightly with the palm of your hand, and I guess what we're supposed to do is, let's move some of these bigger ones around here a little bit. Let's put this little one out kind of there. Okay, so we're going to flatten them a bit. It says palm of your hand, but fingertips are fine. I don't know how I'm going to get my palm in there. Okay, so those are kind of flat, kind of lumpy. We'll stick them in for 5 minutes. Check on them then. There's our 5 minutes. Now I'm going to take these out. It says to flatten with a flat bottom glass, so I will do that. Fine bottom glass. Mush them down. Looks fairly good. Close enough. Alright, we'll slap these back in. Another 10 to 12 minutes is what it says. So we'll check it in 10. See you then. Alright, there's 10 minutes. Check them. They don't look super brown, so we're going to go ahead and do another 2 minutes. They're not brown around the edges yet, so come back in a second. Alright, there's another 2 minutes. So we're at 12 minutes total. No, 7 minutes total. I can do math. And you can see they're starting to brown around the edges. So we're going to pull them out now and let them cool for a minute. A little bit more than a minute. And we'll taste them in a second. So, see you then. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see how these things taste. I'm going to try the little one in the middle. Texture is a little soft. Kind of crumbly. Tastes pretty good. Ironically, could probably be used a little bit more in the oven, a little bit longer in the oven. Pretty good. Definitely got that kind of, I don't want to say it's not flaky like shortbread, but it's kind of like that. It kind of has that same feel. Definitely tastes like butter pecan. That's good. I'd give that a solid 8.5. Like I said, I think if I would have cooked them a little bit longer, but you can see, like here, this one here is starting to get a little bit dark around the edges, and I just was a little bit afraid that it'd turn. But yeah, definitely gonna be on the rotation though, because I love me some butter pecan, and slap some of this and put some whipped cream on top or something. It'll be like eating butter pecan ice cream. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Have a good one.